Hey, hey, hey. Carl Bryan coming at you. Hope everybody's doing great. Here with my buddy Patrick Bell. Yo, 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 Pat. You there, bud?
Hey, hey, Carl, how's it going?
Fabulous, buddy. Fabulous,
Good.
fabulous. Any more fabulous and I be more handsome than I already am? Everybody
Oh
knows
my
how
goodness.
handsome I am.
I wake
Don't
up
they,
like
Pat?
every day. I tell my how lucky she is to have me, and starts my day
You know
off
what you do?
well.
My wife, I try to convince my wife to talk to me. That's what I do every morning. of course,
No,
of
hey,
course I'm joking. For everybody listening.
actually, I'm not really joking.
Well, there you go. You're a lucky man, Pat. You're also a handsome man. So there you go. Nobody does it.
I was
All
just
right,
telling.
let's open up some lines here. Oh, what's that, buddy?
No, I was just telling for everyone. I was just telling Carl that we are working on a new project, major project, and get my creative juices going. And we're going to be bringing you some amazing upgrades. Not right away. That's not something that we roll out in the next couple of weeks. It's a bit bigger than that, but it's very impacting. So
All right.
looking forward to that. Just drop a little tease there as we go
There you
forward.
go. You guys know it when Pat gets his creative juices flowing. You guys know what happens.
Oh
It's
my.
scary. Okay, let's open up a couple lines and say hello. Who do we got
Yeah.
here? Oh, Brian Duckworth. It must be early for him. Let's open him up. See if he's half asleep. Brian Duckworth, what's going on, buddy? Open up and say hello. He's hanging out. We should all be very jealous, by the way. You guys are probably. There he is. Brian, you are live.
Oh, there you go, live across the world. I'm
Yep.
good, thanks,
There,
Carl and
man.
Pat. Yourselves?
Great.
Great. What time is it there? Must be
7
early.
a.m. 7 a.m. Not too bad.
7, 8. Oh, I guess, yeah, because of the time. Okay, yeah, because of the time change. That's it. I'm thinking.
That's
I was
right.
thinking 5. Okay, there we go. Cool. What's happening? So, what's going on in Bell's Beach today, Brian? Give us the 101, man. We picture
Waves are a
you
bit
on the
flat.
beach in your Speedo.
Oh God, that'd be a sight to be seen. You reckon you in your head? No, all good down here. Another beautiful morning. Early summer or late spring.
Your beauty. You were on our 2-day event, were you not?
Yes, I was also on leave travelling around the country, so I missed bits of it, and I'm killing myself because I lost Adrian 44 minutes up.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You got to rewatch that. For everybody listening, Adrian's presentation and on market dominating position. Again, Adrian, the boy can present and he can put together a presentation with the best in the world. You want to watch his market dominating position presentation. And yeah, Brian, you should go back and watch it, man. You'll love it.
I'm hanging for the replays.
Awesome. It's they're posted now, so you should have them today. So there you
Fantastic.
go.
Fantastic.
Cool bananas. All right, Brian.
Thank you.
Honored to have you here. How long have you been with us, by the way? It's been a long time, man.
I don't know, 10 years or something.
There you go. I love it. I remember opening up. We were in. I think it was the first, second, maybe I don't know, first or second Cancun event. And I remember saying that, like every time we announce something, before, like we press send, and you had bought it before it had hit the rest of the folks in the program. You're like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. And you were the first, for memory. You were the first one to book for the Cancun for our first event. I remember that. I was like,
Yes,
you
first
legend.
one.
Here we go. Awesome. Anyways, Brian, we appreciate you, man.
No
Enjoy
worries.
Geelong, Australia, home of Bell's Beach, man. We wish we were all there. Cool. Gonna put you back on mute, buddy. All right. Where are we gonna go? We got to go. So, guys, you know the drill. This is a Q&A call. So we do the A, you guys do the Q. So either raise your hands or plunk your question in the box there. And if we can't open you up, we'll read it out. Who do we got here? Martha has got the question, her hand raised. So let's go to Martha. Martha, you were self-muted. There she goes. She's live. Hey, hey.
Oh, hey, Carl. Actually, I My little hand was up before I knew it was up, and then I had to take it down. Sorry.
No,
I actually
you
don't have
have
a
any.
question.
Oh, boo.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
Oh, man.
By the way, I loved you sent me an email this morning. Oh my God, I pissed my
Yes.
pants laughing. That was very funny, very funny.
Wasn't that hysterical?
Martha sent me an email, and it basically, the Queen has spoken, and she's taking back control of the USA because you guys have been bad boys and girls. And it's just all the different things that the Queen is now going to do, and they're going to have to start playing cricket instead of baseball and a bunch of other stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing, Martha.
Good.
Very cool.
Good.
Okay, awesome. Anyways, appreciate the humor. Appreciate you, Martha. Going to put you back on mute. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a question, so somebody else has got to come up. And we've got Jonathan has one, though. Jonathan, you're self-muted. There he is. Jonathan, you're live.
Fellas, thank you so much. Great to connect. I have a question. What is the digital accelerating software?
Yeah.
Pat, go, bud.
All right. So the digital acceleration software looks at, let me just move it off my screen. It's really software that's focused for business coaches that have a presence in the digital marketing world, or have those capabilities, or have a joint venture with someone who's in digital marketing world. And what we're basically doing, you can see here on my screen, just to check, you can see my screen, everyone?
Yeah, we're good.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah, we got two areas really. We've got, we call it digital acceleration. And as I click on that, we're looking at, I believe, 8 different areas of digital marketing. So content marketing, website optimization, email marketing, SEO, advertising, social media, video marketing, and metrics and KPIs. And you can see that down this left side here on the center of the screen. On the right side are key areas that we have in other parts of the software, and we look at I think 7 areas here. We've renamed some of them, but they're essentially the same as like upsells and cross sells become one-time offers and cross sell, and downsell is now downsell and pop-up windows. So we have that. It's 2 different versions. This version is a full assessment. So it's going to be like a script tree. You ask a question, you get a yes or no question. If you answer yes, it goes one direction. Answer no, it goes a different way. And then we also have the digital jumpstart, and it's laid out a little differently along the side. Really, it's about 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that just go for the immediate impact here. So here's 8 questions actually on that one. So yeah, that's what it does. Otherwise, the reports, there's a different report available. We have the snapshot, and it's a 2-page snapshot that's available. And then we have the roadmap, which is similar to the roadmap in the other versions of the software. Does that help you, or do you want some more information about that?
No. That's perfect. I just wanted to know what the differentiation was. And then I guess my second question would be, these are all subcontext to the 10K challenge, right?
Yeah. Hey, Pat, could you just take them to the home screen and just hit new assessment, and for everybody else watching, just so they can kind of maybe just go over that real quick.
I don't want to go too fast here. So when you're on the home screen, on your dashboard, down to the right, you can click on new assessment. And then you create your company, whatever, or select a company you've created. Then you got your module sets. So here we've got the top ones are profit acceleration. Ignore these 2 green ones here. Jumpstart, free deep dive, that's just for me. So we have 3 areas, Jumpstart 12, Jumpstart 40, and Deep Dive 40. And then down below, we've got 2 areas here under the digital acceleration, your Jumpstart, and that's to close a sale with a digitile. I gotta have William correct that. I just noticed that.
There we go.
With a digitile and a genteel marketing focus. And let's take a thing for William there, so I don't forget. And hey, find something new every day. We have a deep dive to perform a full assessment with a digital marketing focus. So,
Jonathan, that helped?
No, that helped immensely. Thank you very much.
Yep. And actually, if I could, I might expand upon that. Now, the question is, okay, so are we all going into digital marketing? Is that like what, Pat and Carl are trying to direct you towards? And it's not, it's a little bit the opposite, where we have a lot of digital marketers that work with us nowadays, and, more coming. And then not to mention, there's a lot of business owners. The conversation in their head is, gosh, I'd love to be able to work out how to run Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, Google AdWords, et cetera. So what happens is they end up getting a digital marketer in front of them. And then the problem with the digital marketer is they think that Facebook ads are the solution to everything. And then imagine, again, you're working with a client, and with a very small amount of, and just think Profit Jumpstart, by the way, but a very small amount of Q&A, you realize that they don't really have anything in place. The guy doesn't have his goals written down. His 80-20 rules are totally upside down. He doesn't have anything that would look like an upsell. He doesn't have anything that looks like a downsell, a cross sell. They don't have like an upfront offer, the way that we can say we can find anybody $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra $1 on marketing or advertising. Like, that's our upfront offer, and it's a killer one. Where you give that example to them and then say, do you have anything that would fall into that category? And of course they don't have an answer, right? And it's like, whoa. Before we do Facebook advertising, maybe what we should do is have a look at your business, and solve some of these very minor but major issues before we go and run Facebook ads. So the classic example is you'll meet a business owner that has like an accounts receivable problem, which basically means that they drove traffic or promoted business, won business, sold business, performed business, followed through, probably, patched up some holes or whatever it was, and then forgot to collect the money. And like, as I say that, it's like, would anybody actually be that stupid? And the answer is that it's ridiculously common. Well, if you had an accounts receivable problem, what would that create? A cash flow problem. Well, you sit there and you're like, gosh, I got a cash flow problem. What do you think to yourself? I need more business. And then it's like, I need more business. What do I need? Facebook ads. And then you speak to the Facebook ad and he says, yeah, let's go get them. And all you're then doing, what the digital marketer would be doing in that dynamic, is making the problem significantly bigger. For example, I like to use is, you got a boat with a hole in it. Going further into the lake to fix your hole would not be up there with an overly intelligent decision, right? So we are going to we're not trying to pretend like we're digital marketers. And by all means, we have lots of them with us. And if you want to learn that, it's a great skill to learn. But really, what we're trying to help you do and help the digital marketers do is become full stack consultants, where we can really go in and provide the business owner what they ultimately want. They think of new clients with, cash and then money and profitability. And the actuality that's not always the case, right? Where you can look at their business with not an overly huge amount of experience and be able to see some major holes really, really quickly. Does that help, John? Does that help you kind of follow that?
No, that totally makes sense. And your analogy about rolling out further into the lake with a hole in your boat is just like throwing, good money after bad money, right? So
Yeah.
You're trying to solve an issue that's not the root symptom of your problem, and that's
ridiculously common, common, right? And it's just like, oh my gosh. So anyway, there you go. I'm glad you get that. That's for everybody else listening. That's part of the magic.
So here's where you go to get the digital software. There's a landing page here where you order it. It doesn't come automatically with your account. So you go to noresults-nofee.com/DA software, DA being digital acceleration. So DA software. And you scroll down and just get it here. It's $197 one time. And then when I get notice of that payment, then I, or myself or William or our assistant sets it up for you. So it's, we don't make the move on that until we get the notice of that. So that's where you get it, DA software.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. There we go. Cool. No problems. Hope that helps. Great question, by the way. Greg Kell, we are coming for you. Greg, your hand is up. You are self-muted. There he is. Greg, you're live.
Hey there. Good afternoon, guys. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for an awesome convention. It was fantastic, a true game changer for my agency. Thank you very
Good,
much.
good.
I have a
I love it.
specific question related to a implementation that I did today for the cost cutting. Specifically, I'm hoping if we can go through the implementation under cost cutting and get some coaching or some suggestions about how to roll through that to get maximum value for the client.
Okay.
We can try.
Thank you.
No promises. No promises.
Like, as an example, A is review the results of the profit assessment. I did this in Jumpstart for the client.
Yeah.
And that, first of all, expected increase as a percent, those first elements there, I know that showing this information here to the client in a Zoom meeting is not the best practice. Unfortunately, that's what I was doing. So I was a little unprepared for these elements here. So I guess I'm looking for suggestions and best practices in helping to create greater value for the client during this cost-cutting implementation.
Okay, so let me just say, as a general thing here, with this first result, like review the results of the profit assessment in this area and the goal for profit increase over the next year. So yeah, this is the same as for everyone. So if I go to alliances and joint ventures, it's exactly the same here. It's exactly the same content. So it's not necessarily.
So do we bring that forward from the notes related to the Jumpstart when we did that the first time?
You know, what I would do if I'm consulting with someone, I'm not even sure I'm going to show my screen on what we're going to do, first of all. So I would have that before me, and this, you know, you're talking to someone and say, hey, John, let's just talk about, you know, what this could be mean for you over the next year. It looks like, you know, or the next month, it looks like we found, you know, $50,000 of additional profit if we just look at cutting costs. Does that sound right? It's like, looks like something we want to go after. We want to, you know, pursue that. And he goes, oh, absolutely, great. Okay, you are done that section. You don't have to say any more there. You're done. That's 15 seconds. Right. So
Understood.
now, all right. So it's, and that you do that the same everywhere. It's just for all of these areas in the implementation section. If you just bring it up initially and say, hey, look, you know, it looks like, hey, it's 5% increase in our revenue, or it means $50,000. Like, hey, if we really, and then the revenue or the profit impact, if you're doing that with different areas, is like, you know, we save, well, we get an extra $50,000 this year, you know, over 5 years. That's $250,000. We really want to go after that, right? They go, yes. So you want that motivation in there.
I appreciate what you're saying, and this is sort of what it means to me as far as changing my practice here. Since this first area is in all of the implementation, as you just said, I'm going to take a note and put it in my client. I use Infusionsoft in my client record. So prior to a coaching session during implementation, I will review that, and so I'm well prepared for that. So it's the same thing. Yeah. It's a very, very good suggestion there. Thank you.
Sure. So then as you go through, let me just, I'll have to go through and see what's actually here. Dive deeper into possible areas to cut costs. Now, when you did the assessment under cut costs, there should have been, just hang on a sec. Make sure I'm doing that one correctly here. There we go. Cut costs. So now you've gone through here. Hopefully you've taken some notes here. Which of these will you commit to? And
yeah, I did that. And again, I'm a newbie. So I think that the manner in which I did that, I need to improve. But the bottom line is that by the time we got to the cut cost section, that call was relatively long, and I think the client was tired and losing patience here. So that I don't think I did that as well as I must do in the future. I'm taking responsibility here.
Yep.
Well,
there wasn't a lot to bring forward.
Right. I think for all of us, every time we do it, we get better. Every time we do something, we make mistakes. Well, we always look and go, oh man, I could have coached them better in that regard or whatever. So yeah, every time you do it, you're going to gain more wisdom about things, for sure. I think reviewing ahead of time your coaching session, what it's going to look like, what you're going to take them through, it's definitely going to help you with that. Because if you're doing things on the fly, I think it might not be appropriate. And as you go through something like this, like these are provided as a tool for you if you're not exactly sure what to do or you need a general guideline. So looking at these are just, we probably even need to update this, Carl, because it doesn't exactly correspond with the areas.
Yep, for sure.
What we did here. But yeah, I'd definitely walk through these ahead of time. Don't go into this cold because it might not be exactly what your client needs. But as you're prepping for the call, you go in through here and say, okay, are these the areas we need to cut? Are there other areas? What did the client say in that initial meeting when we found the breakthroughs? Determine best practices. These are guidelines for you, again, if you're not sure what to do. But yeah, I would definitely go through this ahead of time before you do it live with a client.
That was very good coaching.
Go, Greg.
Sort of the summary. Yeah, that was very good coaching. Thank you. Here's sort of the summary on where we left this. We looked at those different elements, and it wasn't exactly clear on how to dig into the financials. And I'm dealing with a business owner who is not a CPA kind of guy who doesn't pay massive attention to the detail. So here's sort of the bottom line. I gave the client some homework between now and our next meeting to sit down with his bookkeeper and charge the bookkeeper with finding some suggestions to cut 3% from cost of goods sold and 5% from overhead, and then have the areas for us to look at, and we will review that and implement it in our next meeting. That's sort of the summary on where this was left, because it was sort of going sideways, basically. In your opinion, Carl, do you think that is a reasonable suggestion?
It's not reasonable. It's freaking A+ times 10. It's exactly what you should do. And by the way, she's going to come back with some ideas, and those might not be the best ideas, and they might blow you away, right? So be armed for that. I would say too. So first of all, no, it was perfect. Where you got pulled up, okay, is that on a scale of 1 to, it's just what we were talking about a minute ago. It's like Facebook ads is sexy. Facebook ads are delusional. 4-hour work week. Yeah. Let's find a way, man. Let's crush it. And everybody stay home and go to the beach, right? That's real sexy, fun stuff. Going through your credit cards, going through, the expenses on your P&L is like up there. I would say it's up there with returning the library book, right? And remember, you're coaching, and part of what you got to be able to do when you're coaching is manage somebody's state. Okay. Because what you experienced is like, it wasn't going real well. And then, like you said, it kind of started to go a little bit sideways. It sounds like you read that well, high five, and you went, here's what we got to do. Let's not continue with this. Go to your bookkeeper. I want you to do X, Y, and Z. And then let's have something to review next week, and we'll go through it together. But do understand this is a process, and we are going to get there, and the results are going to be incredibly, they're going to be unreal for you financially. So what I'm getting at is one of the ways that I do it is before I start, I explain to them how exciting this is going to be, not because the process is exciting. And I would warn them, this is going to be kind of a bit of a, if you ever been to a dentist and you had your tooth ripped out, it's going to be up there with that one. But what's going to be amazing is when we hang up the phone and we're done and we look at your, when we look at your financial statements that you're right now a little bit scared of, Mr. Business Owner, believe me, this is going to be amongst the most exciting things you're ever going to do, right? Because again, Facebook ads are sexy and delusional. Your financial documents are the exact opposite. So what I'm getting at is I'm trying to rev them up a little bit, like that this isn't going to be the funnest process that we're going to undertake over the next 12 months, but it's going to be up there with the most rewarding. And then why? Give them those numbers, right? Like the templated example I use all the time. Look, your margins are roughly 20% right now. We're going to get those to 30%, right? You made 100, like, you use another client. Here's what we did. Just say we instead of I, okay? Because you got Pat and I and Adrian. What we did, working with a client, made $100,000 of profit, had 20% margins, right? Not bad, not great, but this is where we were starting. That was our baseline. That was the little red arrow, you are here. We did this process that you and I are about to undertake. It was a little bit like going to the dentist, but here's what happened. We went from 20 to 30% with his margins in like record time. Like I'm talking less than 2 weeks this happened. Well, on the surface, he made 100 grand, 10%, 20 to 30, that's 10%, right? 10% is what? 10 grand. I mean, not bad. Get your family around the world on a cruise, but not all the money in the world. But that's not what happened, Mr. Business Owner. 20 to 30 is a 50% increase. In that very short period of time, we put $50,000 in his bank account. Again, it was a little bit like going to the dentist, like the process we're going to undertake. But when you're looking at your bank account in 12 months, you're going to want to kiss me on the lips and please don't use your tongue. So, joking around, but you get the idea. Do you see the way I framed that up and made something very boring in my best way, that it might be half exciting, but that's going to be delayed gratification, not Facebook ads exciting? Like that? Follow?
I do follow, and I do understand, and I appreciate sort of laying down the expectation for the customer in advance of actually doing that session of our coaching process. And essentially, I understand that.
Yeah, the 30,000-foot vantage point is that you're managing his state.
I think it's valuable to understand your client as well. And I know this particular client is a higher level creative kind of guy, and he manages people who do things for him. He is not a green eye shade accountant kind of guy. So you're speaking almost like a foreign language. Well, he understands it. So I know him and his business. And so I think it's good to be able to delegate, get information back from the people for whom it's important, and then work with that information to be able to implement properly the cost cutting areas. So that's my general process here.
Yep, I agree. Just, you got to manage a state. You got to try and tell them stories and kiss them on the lips. And it's going to be like going to the dentist. Like you're being fun and playful. It's kind of where I'm going. That's part of it, right? So
excellent. So
I hope that's helpful.
Thank you again.
There you go, man.
Thank you again for a game-changing conference. It makes a massive difference to my agency. Thank you again.
Nice.
Good. Okay, great. Okay, Greg, high five, buddy. Well done. Good to see somebody listening and going to what we do with the old cost cutting. Okay, Una, I was about to start singing to you. Una. I don't know. What am I trying to There's a song, pretty sure. Hey, Una, what's that? Thank goodness you opened up. I was about to start singing. There you go. That would have been ugly for everyone. What's happening?
Hi. Great conference, by the way. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So, I've got a couple of questions. One relates to the advice you gave earlier about accounts receivable. So what would you actually ask if someone's talking about cash flow issues? What would you actually ask them to find out? Is it an accounts receivable issue, or is it an under-earning issue?
And first of all, I'd follow Profit Acceleration software. Will give you enough, you know what I mean? Like all the Q&As are there to be able to ascertain exactly where they're at. But I would just say, Una, on a scale of 1 to 10, rank your cash flow for me. You flush with cash, or at the end of the month, you kind of looking under the mattress? You give me an answer. I told you lots. Una, on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me the process that you follow with accounts receivable. 10 being it's amazing and everybody who owes you money, you get paid, and 1 being it's horrific and there's a lot of money outstanding and you're not even sure who owes it or how old it is. How would you rank yourself? Okay. Ask those 2 questions and you've been ready to rock and roll.
Could you repeat that last bit about tell me the process for getting paid? Because you said some great stuff there.
Yeah. Okay. accounts on a scale of 1 to 10, rank your accounts receivable, as in everybody who owes you money pays, being a 10, and a lot of people owe you money and you're not sure who and how aged those receivables are, would be a 1. Una, where do you rank? Where would you rank yourself?
Thank you.
And then and I will tell you that if you meet, really good point. You will meet business owners all the time. They have profitable businesses and they're asking themselves, where the heck is all my money? Where is all my cash? Why is my bank account empty? And then my financials tell me that I'm profitable. Okay, so there's 5 specific areas where you'll find that money with 100% certainty. It's only going to be in 5 areas. One is revenues. The other one is expenses. We just went over inventory, accounts receivable, and then one that nobody thinks about is accounts payable. Right? A lot of business owners, you'll hear them say, "Oh no, I pay all my bills up front because I don't like to be in debt," like thinking this is some sort of a good idea. Right? If you buy something from Apple, they don't pay you for 91 days. Most, possibly if they're not the number 1 most cash flush business on the planet, they're top 3 all day long. I'm pretty sure they're number 1. They don't pay you for 91 days. And then it's like, why? Well, basically it takes them 91 days to, get the inventory to build an iPhone, ship it out, sell the iPhone, get the money in their bank account. And that's where 91 days comes from. So paying, imagine a business with an accounts receivable problem that wants to pay all their bills up front because they don't want to be in debt. That's what I refer to as sweetheart syndrome. Okay, so they don't collect their money, but then they pay everybody. And then it's like, where's all my freaking money? And that's where it is, right? So don't always be in such a hurry. And that's not to say in any way, shape, or form that you don't pay and pay everybody who you owe money. You just don't pay it on day 1. If they offer you 30-day terms, is really a 30-day loan. 60-day terms is a 60-day loan and 90 days. But what's important there, Una, is I want everybody, really good question. You speak with somebody with a cash flow problem. I want you to be comfortable that you can tell them, but wait until you get their credit card number, wait until they're paying you the coaching fees before you solve this problem for them. But Una, I'm sitting with you and you're the builder, you own a construction company. I'll say, you've got a cash flow problem. Okay. Don't have time to go through it today, but I can tell you that money is in 5 areas with 100% certainty. And I will be able to show you those 5 areas and I will be able to help you solve that problem. So that goes from a problem to the opposite, where you're going to be cash flush and very appreciative of my process and my help over the next number of months.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
could you tell me again, you said revenues, gross margin,
revenues, expenses, inventory, accounts payable. I know I'm forgetting one all of a sudden. What is it? Accounts, did I say accounts receivable? It's in revenue, expenses, accounts receivable, inventory, accounts payable. There's your 5.
Awesome. Thank you.
With 100% certainty, Una, like 100%. That's where the money is. That's where the cash is. They're like, where the heck? And think about a business that has an accounts receivable problem. You see, accounts receivable, without getting all accounting on you, lives on a balance sheet, which basically determines how profitable or unprofitable you are. So you have an accounts receivable problem. Say there's $100,000 in accounts receivable. Let's say that 50,000 of it you're never going to get, or 30,000 of it you're never going to get. You pay tax on the $30,000 that you're never going to get. And tax is what? Cash. You got a cash flow problem. It's like, what the heck? And this is where an accountant that's not actually sitting down and advising you in these types of areas is like, it's up there with, a little bit of craziness.
That's why I do cash accounting. I only invoice what I'm being paid.
Yeah. So anyways, so there you go. That helpful?
Yes, it is. And the other question, oh God, what was the other question? I've forgotten now. I'll have to come back to you. Thank you.
Good job. Okay. Now, that's great. Good question. Great question. Oh, look at this, the lineup of questions. Oh my goodness. Okay, Mark Rosenberger. yourself muted, my friend. There you are. Mark, you're live.
Unmuted, and you said my last name correctly. I love you. Thank you.
Oh, buddy, I specialize in pronouncing names properly. It's one of my talents. Did I tell you that? How's it going, Mark?
Yeah. All right. So first off, I'm pissed off at you, and I'm going to tell you why. Just to leave it, the session this weekend was so packed with great stuff, and my wife challenged me. Okay, so what's one action item you're going to put into place this week from what you heard? So on Sunday, I declared, gosh, how about we do a no BS marketing virtual focus group this coming Thursday, which is the day after tomorrow. She goes, all right, we're in. So we haven't done a great job with virtual focus groups in the past so far, but I now have 9 people signed up for it.
Oh, cool. There we go.
So I'm pissed at you about, having to jump through the hoops to make that happen, but, we're pretty damn excited about it.
Awesome.
So that leads me to, high five on the session. It was amazing. Just so much good stuff. And so we're taking massive action here. So question 1 is the 100K presentation ready? I keep hearing it sounds like it's done, but I can't seem to find it. Or is it not quite done?
Not sure what you mean. Pat, do you know 100K? Do you mean the new training?
Yeah, so instead of the 10K, 100K, but it incorporates the PAS, I thought.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's Pat, what do you think? Live.
Yeah, the training is done. I know Adrian's got a plan for it that he wants to bring people through it. So, and I don't know the details of that plan.
Yeah. So
we'll have to get
coming soon, Mark. Apologies, can't give you a definitive answer, but bottom line is it's ready to rock and roll and it'll be coming soon.
Yeah, no apologies needed. I just, if it was ready, I didn't want to reinvent the wheel and retailer thing. So that's good. And then the second question, Patrick's slide of the 5 areas that expands on out, what session was that was given out to us? Do you know?
I'm sorry, the what?
So the 5 ways to grow your business pie chart thing that you had you open it.
Yeah, let me, it's in the Ask the Expert call.
Right.
And I'm thinking back in May. So let me just scroll there and, maybe too far.
I mean, I can go through that.
I would go back into about May and have a look there.
Okay.
Mayish. It's Mayish.
Mayish, yes. Okay.
Yeah, there's uniform impacts in the software, May 27th.
Look at you.
Look at that.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that is it's an Excel file, right? That's what you're looking for?
I thought it was a PowerPoint.
Okay, so there's another one, pie chart of business possibility, was May 6th.
May 6th. Okay,
Yep.
Got it. All right, I'll grab that, and that's probably one of the greatest slides created by mankind.
Damn, that's some serious kudos, man. There we go. Cool.
I get head nods. I want to bring up one other thing. When I'm doing a PAS, I don't want to kind of buck the system, but I know how you say, you don't show people what we're going through. The last handful of times, I've actually shown them kind of the questions I'm going through. One, knowing that I'm not going to go through all 12.
Yeah.
And I keep the question to the coach kind of covered. So I go quickly past that. But let's say I'm going to market dominating position. I'll go up there. And I've gotten so many comments on people saying, man, this thing is thought out. Man, this is thorough. Wow, really? This is, wow, this is no wow. And I think it actually aided me in kind of building that credibility, and it also minimized the going back and forth of hiding a screen and showing a screen, and then, you know, if I become a technical blunder. But I just wanted to put that out there that it seemed to get some pretty positive response.
Cool. Yeah, you know what? I can see how that would happen, and that's very interesting feedback. Yeah, it's one of those ones. I guess everybody just kind of got to manage it and work out their shtick. But I can see that. I've always just kind of thought you keep it on the summary page and you can see the numbers grow and whatnot. But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, very cool.
I would yield to your expertise for sure. And I'm trying not to reinvent the wheel, but I did it a couple of times and I got some good feedback. I thought, oh, let's keep going.
Look, just keep your eye on the prize there. Yeah. Like again, just, at the end of the day, it's conversion.
Right.
And just if I were to give you an example of what, as you say that, and then I start thinking it through, I think of like when I do like an offer stack. You know what I mean by an offer stack? Like if I'm going to close you on anything and you're in front of your computer, I'm going to say, Mark, can you see your screen? You go, yes. And then I'm going to have like a PowerPoint slide. I've got like 10 things bundled together, right? Like you're going to get this, you're going to get your author program, you're going to get live event mastery, you're going to get whatever. If I put say there's 10 items on my offer stack, and then I open up and you can see all 10, you can't help but read ahead. And then that can hurt my close, right? So my concern would be that they'd be reading ahead on the questions, and that's not going to reflect favorably in the dynamic of the conversation. Because not only do we need them, remember, we're trying to pull data from them. Like, hey, do you have the accounts receivable problem we talked about earlier? Like, I got to work out if this is your problem, because that's how, when I come back next Tuesday to coach you and get this thing going and put money in your bank account and impress the hell out of you, there's some answers that I need. So I need you to be present. I need your attention, right? So I feel like that would also come into it as I'm thinking it through, and allowing you to read forward. I can't see how that would help me with your presence. It could only hurt, if that makes sense. But that being said, it's working. So just keep that in mind and play with it as you do a little bit of both, and then decide.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool bananas. Thanks, Mark. Really appreciate the feedback. It's awesome. And good luck with your presentation tomorrow. That's awesome.
Woo-hoo. No BS marketing session on Thursday. All right.
There we go. Boom. Okay, awesome. Put you back on mute. And Melissa, I'm pretty sure you've had your hand up from the very beginning, so we better get over to Melissa.
Hi guys.
Melissa, you're live. How are you?
Good, thanks. All right, so I have a couple questions, of course. The priorities, there's little numbers all the way to the right when you get into priorities. What are those representative of?
Yeah, that's great.
Over to you, buddy.
Yep. So what we're doing in the priorities tab, we take a profit impact and down this column here, and then we're trying to assign a number to it. It's based really on, first of all, on the profit impact you make with the factor of how long it's going to take to implement. So if we take leads and I say it's going to be, let me just click off of that. It's going to be 2 months. Right there, we're at 263, but now we're going to go to 2 months. You see it really cuts down in half. 406 would be, going to 2 months.
What is that number? Like, what do those numbers mean?
So these are just, they're just numbers that help us. There's nothing really you need to know in terms of what it impacts you. It's something in the background for the software. And actually, we might even have William take it out, but I'm not sure if they're really necessary. The only thing that really you'll see a big impact in is, let's say if I put market dominating position at 1 month, the impact is $20,000 here. If you look at alliances and joint ventures, it's just over 20,000, but we have a $1,200 or 1,200 point priority versus a 400 point. it's about a 3x X factor for market dominating position. So it's a way really in the background. I'm not sure it's really necessary to know what these numbers are, except something in the background that the software gives it a number to know what to do first, what to do next, and then cut costs as a zero. Somehow it's always just defaulted.
Yep. Pat, can I chime in there? So Melissa, I want you to think, like, if you come up with a really good market dominating, so it's part of the algorithm, right? No doubt, it's a weighted system. So, like, let's go, Pat, what did you say? Alliances and joint ventures. If you come up with a really killer market dominating position, right? You own a daycare, and then you survey I ask you, Melissa, you own a daycare, and I say, hey, what's the number one hot button for your clients? With 80% predictability, you say location. They're like, mom's on her way to work. She's only willing to drive so far. It's always that, right? Well, and of course, cost. But the truth is, when you survey moms and you ask the right questions, right? You don't just take what they say, but you survey their questions. You'll work out that accountability is the hot button times 10, right? So you're going to create a web watch where the parents could log onto the internet, watch the kids, make sure they're safe, having fun. You're just missing your kid wildly, and you could jump on the internet while you're driving on the side of the road and just, watch them for minutes, a few minutes interacting with the other kids, etc. Do you see how, or you're at a client market dominating position, it was a daycare, turned it into an accelerated learning center. The kids that went to that particular daycare expected to go into grade 1 with a grade 2 reading, writing, and arithmetic ability, called it Little Harvard, right? Could you see how, if you came up with something like that, or you were a business coach and you had the ability to find somebody $100,000 in 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising, and you never had that before, do you see how when you implement something that separates you, when you now go to your joint venture partners, it's going to increase your ability to get them on board and for them to promote you?
Right.
You follow? That's why it's so much higher, right? And that's why we wanted to go first. Because don't go to I don't want you to go to the joint venture partner until you get something cool to say, right? Like, until you can spit out, like, and again, for everybody listening and for you also, it's like, you want to be able to say this as well as I do. And I can find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra $1 on marketing or advertising. Because it's one thing to say it. It's a whole nother thing to say it with a little bit of mojo and a little bit of moxie and really believing that I can do it. And I don't care if you made $100,000 last year, gross revenues, I can find you $100,000. You know what I mean?
Okay, so well, let's talk about finding that $100,000, because on Friday I did 2 of these and I was only able to find each business around $40,000. So what the hell did I do?
What were their revenues? Gross when you started?
One was 180, one was, I don't know, like 20. So they're both like their own business owners. They have no employees.
What kind of business?
One is he has a advertising magazine, and he does like digital ads for people.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Watch this. Okay. Okay. He owns a magazine. Okay. What's his unit? Very important. What's his unit of sale? How much is an ad?
Well, it depends on the size.
Yeah. Give me a roughly.
So maybe 700 for a full page.
Okay. First of all, his unit of sale at 700, and he's got really high profit margins because obviously it's a digital. You said it's digital, so he doesn't have to print. This is good. But $700 is too low of a unit of sale. Okay. Here's the thing. What I can tell you now, you want to get that guy back on the phone and we could help you with this. Okay. Because what he really, look, somebody who buys advertising, do they really need advertising? And the answer is probably, think of the digital marketing we talked about earlier. Do they have an upsell? Do they have a downsell? Do they have a cross sell? Do they have their goals written down? Do they understand 80-20 rules? Do they understand that 80-20 is also 150, where we can take a magnifying glass over their 20 and find the 1% that jumps out? We can now make him insanely profitable, right? So here's an example of what you could do for this guy, right? First of all, his unit of sale is small, like $700. So the first thing you got to do is help him build his $7,000 unit of sale, okay? But as an example, He sells advertising. He does free consulting constantly, and it's very annoying for him. I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that that's his reality. Okay.
Yeah.
What you could get him to do is say, well, hang on, maybe you could do the ads for free. That would be a lot easier to get people advertising. Okay. You'd get 10 people to advertise. When you get them to advertise, part of that is you got to get them on the phone and get their ad copy together and help them with their ad copy and what they're going to promote. On that conversation, you should say, okay, so tell me, do you, again, just think of the question sitting right in front of you on the software. But again, tell me about lead gen. Do you have an upsell? Do you have a downsell? Do you have a cross sell? Do you have a proper upfront offer? Those are the 4 that I always go to. The answer is going to be no, 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 and no. I almost guarantee it. He could say, you know what, Dave, the chiropractor, why don't we do this? I've got a process where I can find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without you spending an extra $1 on marketing or advertising. Why don't we sit down? I'll flesh that out for you. I don't normally do it for free. I normally charge big bickies for that. But because you're a chiropractor and we're in the same BNI group, we're in the same chamber, because you contacted me, because you're a chiropractor and I know you well, because you're number 1 on Google, because you're number 3 on Google, always got to be a reason, right? A reason frame. I'll do this at no charge. And we'll sit down, we'll go through your business. Well, he goes through Profit Acceleration software, and then he sells the guy into a $1,000 a month coaching / consulting program. That's it. And how much is that? You just turn 700 into 12,000. If he only sells 2 in 10 people that take him up on the free ad, tell him to pull out a calculator and do the math, and he's going to have a big smile when he looks up from his calculator.
Okay.
Follow it? I want to make sure. Could you see how I got there is I said, what's his unit of sale? You said 700. And I'm going to say that's not, he needs like a $7,000 unit of sale or above.
Right. Okay.
And by the way, ask him what he calls people to ask if they want to advertise. What do you think his conversions are? Like 1 in 10, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a digital magazine. Who cares, right? It'd be 900 pages if he wants. He could do free ads.
It's a printed one, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. I thought it was digital. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So, bottom line, he could do, again, it doesn't cost, like at the end of the day, the money that he's bringing in from advertising is not going to be huge. He could offer 5 free ads in addition. He could interview people to get those and then sell them into consulting for $12,000, $24,000, $36,000.
Okay.
I want to make sure I'm honoring. I got to make sure I answer this. So that's one way that I could do it, right? That's one way I'd find him significant. I just found him $400,000. I found him, like, if we get 20 people at $2,000 a month, we just found him 480,000. Sorry. Right. But okay, let's go back and assume that he doesn't want to do the consulting, right? So $700 ads, does he have a starter kit for advertisers? At $1 million he doesn't, and he needs one.
Sure.
Right? Would you agree with that?
Okay. Yes.
Boom. And then he'll keep bundle, and then think of the offer stack I talked about earlier, 10 things. When you do the starter kit, I used to own a hockey rink and I created a starter kit for kids.
Right.
It was like really low end hockey stuff. And basically they'd come and now they're addicted, right? Like once the trick is to get them in. And then you got to make it entertaining, you got to make it fun, you got to make it educational, and then they never want to leave. Right. So that one there. So he should be running. Look, here's something else he should be doing. He should be running ads. I would have 10 ads running at all times. Think local Facebook groups, think, online directories, that sort of stuff. And he could offer five ads at no charge per month for businesses that are struggling as a result of the pandemic. They have to then apply. They apply. He approves 5 of them per month, right? But he's going to get 30, 40 applications. So now he can look, I can't do the freebie for whatever reason, because all 5 have already gone, or XYZ. But what I will do is I'll offer you my starter kit advertising package. And look, it's normally $2,500, but I'll do it for $200. I'll do it for $249, $247. And I'll throw in the artwork, yeti. Do you want to have a crack at it? Let's see if we can make your phone ring.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
So, yeah, you just got to go leads, conversions, transactions, like the 12 areas on the left-hand side there. And again, how is he separating himself from the competition? What's the name of the magazine? What's his positioning with this mag?
He's not, because he's the only magazine really around this county that's in everywhere.
Wow.
Okay, so he gets the more so the advertisers get more exposure than any other magazine in the entire county.
Right.
Okay, is he telling people that? Probably not.
Yes, he is.
Okay, that's okay. So, the bottom line is, so he did his revenues. If you go 3%, here's a framework for you, right? Because you should have been able to easily find $100,000 for the guy. If you go 3% in all 12 areas, you get 121% increase. Okay. What were his revenues last year?
Well, because I guess he he forges his numbers and stuff to make it look like he's not making any money.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
So that's why we were having such a hard time because he really doesn't know how much he makes or anything. So we were on the phone with his accountant, but she wasn't much help either. So it was kind of just like, I mean, he wants to work with me and stuff, but
yeah. Gotcha. Okay, that you don't want an accountant on the phone while you do this. That's for sure. That's boo-boo on steroids. Okay, that was like no good. But that's fine. Live and learn. But keep an accountant as far away from this as possible.
Well, he had no idea his net, his gross, he had no idea.
Okay, here's the question. Really simple. I would be doing, and by the way, you're a platinum client of ours. You can bring a coach underneath you, right? It comes with a license, right? He's got to pay $300. Hopefully, if you need the dynamics, just reach out to Adrian. He can explain it all. But you want to bring him underneath you. If you sit with somebody and they have a $700 unit of sale approximately, your question needs to be, what do you sell for $7,000? He's not going to have an answer. You're going to help him create that. Like as an example, every edition, if he went to chiropractors and said, I'm only going to let one chiropractor touch my magazine each month, but you're going to have to pay $7,000 over X amount of, X period. Do you want to be the chiropractor? They either say, and I'm going to include like an advertorial where you can tell us, do back talk, and then you can tell us about how everybody can do these stretches and save themselves 10 years of flexibility with their back. So now for $7,000, the guy's getting a write-up. He gets profiled twice a year. He gets an ad. He's the only chiropractor. So now it's exclusive, but the chiropractor pays $7,000 instead of $700 and then quits next month. You see the difference? See how that becomes an offer stack? Okay. Help him build a 7,000. He's got to build two things: a starter kit ad for like $250, make it really easy to get people started, including for free. And then he needs to have the higher unit of sale because 700 isn't high enough unit of sale to build a business. He's working so hard to get in front of these people. And at the end of the day, I don't need to meet them to know they don't really need advertising. They need so much more than that. So put together a package for that. And I hope everybody listening, I'm not just doing this for Melissa, I'm doing this for you guys too, because when you sit with somebody, and you've got that dynamic, these are the same places you want to go. The chiropractor needs a starter kit. My hockey rink had a starter kit. You guys, like a starter kit coaching package. I'm going to put you on the starter kit. I'm $997 a month, but I accept 2 starter kits a month. I'm going to do you 200, 400, 600, 800, 997, but you got to say yes now because I'm going to offer it to somebody else. There's your starter kit.
Yeah, like that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I hope that was helpful. That was a little bit, but there you go. You got to get that unit of sale up, and 3% in all 12 areas will get you 121%. So if they did $100,000 in gross revenues, you found them 121 by going 3 in all 12. So it gives you a framework.
That's good to know. The implementation calendar. Can I one more thing?
What?
The implementation calendar, is that able to be copied and pasted, or is that just stuck in there?
It's stuck in there, but what you do is a Command Shift S, and when I do that, it just, you take that, you just highlight it and drop it into a document.
Okay, thank you.
So let me also just comment on the magazine advertiser. One thing he could do is he could host a seminar every month for the people that advertise with him on how to create a killer ad or how to create a high-performing ad.
Yes.
And as he does that, he walks through different areas of their business, and it's basically upselling them into coaching. And it's either going to be coaching that he provides, as one of your partners, or he brings you in and has you do the seminar for him. And so every month you're sitting in front of people, and then you take him on as a client, then you just give him a kickback every month. So
like
I mean, he's got all these people coming to his door already saying, hey, I want to grow my business. Here's my cry for help, is they're putting an ad in there because that's the only way they know how to grow is by advertising.
And most of the ads are awful.
Yeah, exactly. So he runs a seminar every month or every 2 weeks or something for his group, and he brings you in to do it, or he does it himself, and you show them the different ways to grow a business, and talk about how you're going to do help them with all their ads, but it's part of a bigger package. So if he wants to partner with you on that, it's just a great opportunity to have the Maine Magazine media source as a joint venture partner. Huge opportunity for you.
Yeah, well, we are, and I'm really excited about it. So I appreciate all your tips and stuff, since this is actually my first client.
There you go.
Boom. Well, there you go. Let me just leave you this. He needs a starter kit. He needs existing advertising, half page, 700, whatever that is. And then he needs a $7,000, and I'm just arbitrarily, you go 700, I go 7,000. If he's at 800, I'd say 8,000, like roughly a $10,000 unit of sale. And it needs to be a whole bunch of stuff like exclusivity thrown in that only a few people will buy. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't have it, he ain't selling it.
Right. Yeah.
So there you go. Help him do that. But like Pat said, that's a joint venture partner on steroids. Get that going. Okay. Yeah, and for everybody listening, I hope you didn't mind me doing that. But that's not for just Melissa. That's for everybody. When you're going to a joint venture partner, or frankly, any business, and you're trying to find them $100,000, unit of sale, profit margin on that unit of sale, that's where you start. And it's normally not high enough. So there we go. Cool bananas, guys. We have some other questions, but I apologize. We are out of time, but bring your questions on Thursday if you could, and we will get you rocking. So, Pat, anything you'd add to what I said there earlier? Or?
No, it's good. Yeah, people can send in questions to pas@noresults-nofee.com, and it gets to William first, and then if William can't answer it, it gets to me. So you can send them in that way.
Cool, awesome. Thanks so much, buddy. Everybody appreciate you. For you folks showing up, we appreciate it also. We'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.